This video is sponsored by His Vessel Academy.
Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be evaluating Transum mathematics, and it's transum.org, so it's transum.org, and it's their software and how it works. So the first thing I want to do is there's a lot to choose from when you get in here, and you can kind of get lost. And that's okay too, but we're going to go ahead and break through it really fast. We have this math map, so we're going to first start with that. And I love the way it kind of shows you all of their different topics under one little area. So you can do algebra, geometry, other, ratios, numbers, probability, and statistics. So we're going to do number today. And the one, as I said, we've been doing factors, so I'm going to stay with that topic for right now. And I want to talk about these factor trees. Now there's an easy version and then there's a challenge version. So we're going to do easy version. The challenge version would be more for your Algebra 1 students. So let's take a look at this. And it talks about factor trees. So we're going to start with this very first one just to kind of give you an idea. You've got exercise, you've got puzzles, you've got challenges that you can go along. So the first thing you want to do with this and your child is to say we want to train them or teach them how to do factor trees. And a lot of times waste a lot of paper in your head, and this will make it a lot easier on you. Plus, it does the checking for you. So the first thing is we want to make sure we pick two numbers that go into 18. So we're just going to do 6 and 3. It could be 2 and 9. It doesn't matter. But that check is really nice because then it says, oh, wait a minute, there's the prime. The other one is not the prime. So therefore, now we can put in our 2 and our 3. And we hit it check again, and it says, well done. And it then tells you your prime factorization at the bottom, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and try this one. We're going to go ahead and do 4 and 9 because 6 and 6 kind of sounds like it would be boring. So in this case, I would be 2 and 2. And what if I, instead of being 3 and 3, I put 3 and 2? So let's take a look at what happens when we do it. Now, it tells you wrong because 3 times 2 doesn't equal 9. Isn't that awesome? So now your child, but it does show you which side is correct. So in this case, we're going to now put this back to 3, and it's going to tell me, well done, there's my answer. So that is really nice how that works, and I like the fact that it's pretty calming. There's no timing in it. It's just an exercise for your child to do. And it just is allowing them to actually learn. You can see you have a lot of them to choose from, and it gets harder as it goes up. Now I want to talk about the puzzle part. Now the puzzle part to me really interests me. It really reminds me of open middle, whereas you have to decide, does your child actually understand the concept of a factor tree? So the first thing is you have this 6 and you have a 2, and hopefully they can get that one. 2 times 3 is 6. And now they have to go backwards. So everything in math, you'll notice that we like to go forwards, but then we also like to go backwards. And in this case, they're going to look at 6 times 3, and they are going to get the 18. I do like that about them, and then it tells you whether or not you have it correct. So in the 9 part, we would put the 3 and times the 3. So that one is going to go just like they normally do. But on the top, they're going to have to know that in a factor tree, you start with 2 numbers that factor into that number. Now, what if you start with those 2 numbers, you times them to get that original number. So 3 times 9 would be 27. And we can hit check and it'll tell you well done. If it is not correct, it will tell you. And you'll notice that a lot of the times, especially something like this, you may have to go backwards all the time. So 4. And then you're like, okay, wait a minute, what 2 numbers would I have to do? So it gets a little bit more challenging as you go. You'll notice there's less and less that's in there, and it does make it harder for them. And you can hit check, but if you only put in 2 numbers, it is going to mark it wrong. It's not going to say why it's wrong, well, because it's empty. And so that also means that they need to do a little more work before they get it done. So in other words, it's not going to just check what they have done. But I do like that in this particular instance. It's really awesome. Now this one, the challenges do get a lot harder. It goes into more advanced material, Now they have to come up with what factors are these, what is A, B, and C, and keep in mind those are going to be 1, 2, 3 type numbers. All of the numbers are, so notice for this is a 3-digit number, we're breaking it down to a 2 and a 1-digit number, which one is a prime, and then again and again until we get 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So it is going to be more challenging because there are numbers that they could use that are going in there. They're not all going to be the same, but it's going to give them ability to actually think a little bit outside the box, and that's a really good thing for them to get. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to try this and see if I can come up with those 4 numbers, or the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers that go into this grid. Okay, so this was a little bit of a challenge. I did have to kind of think about this, and the fact that I have 7 unique digits means I can't put the same number in any of these digits. And I have 4 prime numbers. Well, there's only 4 prime numbers in this type thing, so I only have 2, 3, 5, and 7. So right away, I know in some order, D, F, A, and E are 2, 3, 5, and 7. That shouldn't be too bad, right? So I had to think of this backwards from what we've done in the past, where you sit there and you try a bunch of numbers. I could have been here all day long. So instead I decided to evaluate what is the actual thing here. So I know those are going to be my prime numbers. So what I did was I grabbed the prime numbers on those, and then I just had to maneuver them around, and I noticed that my digit up here is the same here. So I could have done 200, 300, 500, or 700. So notice it could have been any of these numbers. Now, that does not necessarily mean that this was the only way I could have solved this. It's just one of the ways that this could have worked. And what then you had to do is you had to find a number that gave you a 2-digit number, and then you had to find another number when you divided it in, gave you a 1-digit number. And that was the key right there, is to make sure you put it in the right order of getting this done. So your child is going to have to really think to do these. Now this one, it looks like it's a little bit easier, but it's challenge too, so it's probably not. But these are great opportunities for your child to check it. Again, at the bottom here, I'm going to go ahead and pull it down. You're going to see there's a check button, so when they're all done, they can actually check their work. And they get trophies as they go. But definitely use paper, pencil, calculator when you're doing it, because these are definitely higher up learning. Again, this does remind me of Open Middle, and it is a great tool to use for your students. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. You give me a thumbs up, and you'll see more of these then.
At His Vessel Academy, we offer live interactive classes as well as some self-paced courses. Visit hisvesselacademy.com for more information and register today.